It's day 2, and we're about to start part 2 of the restoration of the Ever-Ready C40 brush. So, hope you enjoy.
All right, it's day 2 of the restoration, and as you can see, that's set real nice. And the weight is really good. So what we're going to do today is we are going to try to take off these lines that go around here and the vertical lines that you can kind of see right there going up. And this one doesn't really need too much polishing elsewhere, so I'm just going to concentrate around here. Oops, mailman's here. And right here, I don't have to worry about this, and I'll catch that on the polish next time. So let me start with the 220, but I'm going to try to take that lip off. Turns out that was a good mailman mail call today, because what just came was what I've been needing for this restoration, and that is the cloth brushes for the Dremel. I started to make the mistake, and I should have listened to Anthony rather, and Anthony MacKenzie Jr, and he said do not use the cotton brushes while buffing this out. And that is because it will burn into the plastic, whereas the cloth will not. But the cotton, the hard cotton that looks, let me pop open my Dremel. The hard cotton that looks like this will burn into it, but the soft cloth will not. So I'm going to use this to polish it up, so it looks like we can get most of this exterior done today, and then I will be ready for the the knots when they appear. All right, so let me get this started with a little sandpaper. I'm going to start with the 320 because I might end up going to the 220, but I just want to see how she does. Probably should use a block on this, but I'm just going to use this right here. I'm twisting it as we go. And I'm going to do this for about 5 or 10 minutes. So I may pause this or fast forward it because you don't want to be bored. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. And as you can see now, that seam is almost completely gone. I'd say 99.9%. And that was with the 320. So now I'm going to step it up and I'm going to go to a little higher grade. I'm going to see about the 1200 now. I should have probably go to 4, but I'm going to see. It's going to probably take a little more work. I'm going to go to the 1200 now. All right, about 10 minutes on that, and it has knocked that line down completely. And this is pretty smooth now. But I'm going to go one step further now. I'm going to go to the 2000 and just make sure, get out any of those fine scratches. And this works real good too, the 00. But since this brush wasn't so bad, I'm not even gonna hit that one just yet. All right, I hit it with that, and now that seam is successfully gone. Very smooth. Now I'm gonna tackle these lines right there. You can probably see it, but I'm just gonna concentrate on this area. Start out with the same sandpapers as I did before, the 300 first. Just very lightly, I'll tackle it slow and easy. All right, just about 5 minutes in, you can kind of see that she's almost gone. She's gone here, and I'm still using the 300, but you can still see a little area right here where she's still there. So I'll keep working that for a few more minutes. Then I'll start on that one right there. All right, I've got that pretty much taken down. And now I'm going to hit it with the 1200. She's pretty much gone. I'm going to level it out with a 1200 and then go to the 2000. Then I can scuff the whole thing up and get ready for polishing. All right, and now the 2000 paper. She is definitely gone. Now, one thing that the restorers do is they try to take this seam out too. I may do a little bit on that, but I don't want to mess up the lettering because I'm going to redo these letters with gold paint later. So I will try to do that seam, but I'm going to be very cautious on that. I like the fact that the sides are being done, but we're going to see what we can do with that. Now I'm scuffing the whole red area with the 2000. Getting off any coating that may be on, any clear coat, anything like that. Getting it all dull. Right. Now comes the fun part. You can see how dull she is. So what I've got here is I'm going to put a little bit of my Flitz polish onto my Dremel here. I'm going to kick up the speed a little bit, and I'm going to just casually, see that, start rotating this and polishing it. You can see already she shines up really nice. So I'm going to cut the camera and get this done. Oh, you can see it coming up. Beautiful, beautiful polish. I don't know if you remember what she looked like before, but she sure did polish up nice now. Look at that. So now I'm going to work on the bottom. Just do not hit the edges. If you hit the edges, she will burn a notch in the edges. Do not hit the edges. In fact, I might try to do this by hand. I might not use the buffer on that. Still some scratches there, but the problem is they're too close to the letters. And if I am not careful, I'm going to remove those letters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm going to smear some gold leaf paint on there and then wipe it off with a piece of newspaper, let it dry, and then polish it again. So we'll do that step right now. What I ended up doing is I found let me see if I can get it into the screen here, a brush that's got a little bit of dried paint on it. So it's almost like just a toothpick. And what I'm doing is I'm putting it around the letters, very fine, very fine. Putting it around the letters. Waiting a few seconds and then taking a piece of paper and wiping it off. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, and it ends up sticking into the holes. And then after it's dried a little bit, actually my finger takes off a lot of it, but it's filling in nice and slow. So I'm going to be doing that for this whole thing, and we'll show you what she looks like when it's done, and then once it's dried I will polish it off a little and get all that excess. In case I forgot to mention, we're using just Tester's gold leaf paint, and that was the first pass. So I'm going to do this a few more times and we'll see if we can get it a little cleaner, but she's definitely visible now. Almost ready for that doggone knot. Can't wait till it gets here. Alright, well, finally, well, it was only a few days, about 4 or 5 days from Florida all the way to the US. I've got the 24 sunrise knots from Anthony MacKenzie Jr. site. And since I have 2 of those, I've been busy. I haven't put the coloring on this one, but I'm getting this one all ready. So now I've got to widen this a little bit to about the size of a quarter. This is 24 millimeter, and it's just about the size of a quarter. So I've got to widen this up with the Dremel, and I've been busy too. eBay. All right, so let's get this. Got to keep stopping and checking. Almost there. Almost. You don't want to do too much. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got the hole perfect now. And what I've done is I've put in the epoxy to make the base shelf for the knot to sit on. And I'm letting that dry right now. Let me see if I can bring that out into the sun a little. Maybe you can see it. So I'm letting that dry right now. So it's just going to accommodate the room for the knot to sit on. All right, I just needed both hands to do that last step, but I had made the ridge, and then I had put in the epoxy. Actually, I had ran out of the tube stuff, so I used the two-part epoxy here. Put it into the cup, stirred it up real good with a coffee stirrer, and now shoved the knot down into it, and now she is drying. It says 5-minute drying, but I'll probably leave it a little longer than that. And that is that. Might have to touch up the letters a little more, but it turned out real nice. Gonna do a final polish on it. And that is how you restore a brush, an ever-ready brush. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
All right, and that is how I restored the brush. My only mistakes, and that was the first one, is or that I've done, is I really polished the bottom on this one too much, so I took out some of the lettering, so I didn't get the complete letters. I might have wore them down. Maybe I won't do that as much on the next one. On the other one I left the seam at the bottom, but the gold leaf filled in a lot better. And I'm going to give this to my father-in-law because he has just started or resumed wet shaving, an ex-Marine, so he used to use the double-edge razor all the time. But now he's back into business. He got himself a 1970 gold Black Beauty. So I'm going to give him a nice brush to add to his collection. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope that helps. And like I said, there's probably a few better ways to do things, but this was my first one. Live and learn. I got 4 more different ones that I'm going to be working on. So thanks for watching. Until next time, it's Kensurfs.